Flag experts call these two of the worst national designs in existence. I mean, nearly identical flags and colonial relics that violate every principle of good vexillology. Yet, despite these decades of humiliation by the vexillology community, neither Australia nor New Zealand have bothered to change their flags. So why do two modern nations remain trapped by 19th century symbolism? Well, first off, Australia and New Zealand were both British colonies since 1877 and 1840 respectively, and adopted these flags in 1902. Well, Australia adopted theirs in 1901, but it's similar enough, and both flags incorporated the Union Jack to symbolize their British identity. Fast forward the clock and the British Empire went through their Victorian Era where they had a lot of rebellions and wars, and later they went through two world wars which left them in financial ruin, which led to the collapse of the British Empire. That and the mass decolonization phase after the Second World War, which was forced by the then newly established United Nations. Now modern day Australia and New Zealand are part of the Commonwealth, meaning they recognize the British monarchies as their head of state, despite not being colonies. The Union Jack on both flags represent this constitutional monarchy link. And real quick, I should mention, Australia and New Zealand are technically not republics, they're constitutional monarchies, and if you don't know what that is, it's basically a constitutional monarchy is a system of government where a monarchy, like a king or a queen, serves as the ceremonial head of state, while the real political power lies in an elected parliament and prime minister. Anyways, this leads to the people of both countries not wanting to change the flag. For example, in 2016, New Zealand held a flag referendum, but the public voted in 56.6% to keep the current flag over a proposed silver fern design. I'm assuming it's this design, it could be any design, there's so many redesigns of the New Zealand and Australia flag. And Australia has had debates about changing its flag, often proposing designs with a Southern Cross and indigenous symbols, but no official referendum has been held, and support for change has often not reached a majority. Now there's good reason why the people of both countries didn't push for a flag change yet. This history with the British Empire that I mentioned earlier leads to a debate among them, where some argue the flags reflect their heritage and where they come from, while others see them as outdated colonial symbols of the past. Among those who see the flags as old and dated are indigenous people like the, oh god, I'm gonna butcher this, Maori in New Zealand and the Aboriginals in Australia, and they often advocate for flags that better represent their cultures. Now that was the short and oversimplified explanation on why both New Zealand and Australia haven't changed the flag yet, but before you click off this video, I want to explain why these two flags are so hated among vexillologists like I mentioned in the intro. Well, Australia and New Zealand have potential for a more exciting flag than this Union Jack flag. The same goes for countries like China and literally every European country that has a striped flag, which I talked about in my last video, so be sure to go check that out after this video. Anyways, there are also so many good redesigns of Australia and New Zealand that, and vexillologists also hate flags with a Union Jack on it that isn't the Union Jack flag itself. Anyway, that was it with the video. Thank you so much for watching. Give this video a like, and at 150 likes, that's a bit of a stretch, I will redesign these two flags, probably starting with Australia. I'm gonna redesign them anyway. And sorry this video is so short, I'm experimenting with a new editing software, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.